We've seen a lot of franchises over the last few decades in entertainment that have been incredibly damaged or sometimes completely and totally destroyed, oftentimes by identity politics and virtue signaling. And Doctor Who has to be near the top of that list. After the complete failure of female Doctor Who, they decided they needed to try something new, something different. It wasn't woke enough, apparently. So they brought back Russell T Davies and announced, hey, we're proud to be bringing the first gay black Doctor Who to screens. And it wasn't received particularly well, specifically because the entire goal of the series was not to tell a compelling story, was not to reward audiences, but instead to preach to them. That's why they cast who they cast. That's why they told the stories they wanted to tell. From the very beginning, they told you it was going to be all about representation and identity politics, and the audience completely and totally rejected it because crazy, they want to actually be entertained. And what happened when audiences spoke out? They were called racist. They were called bigots. They were called homophobes. The same thing over and over again, to the point where the lead actor told people, you know what? If you don't like it, then just don't watch it. He very quickly backtracked as he got furious that people were not tuning in. He revamped all the attacks on fans after they set record after record for the worst ratings in the history of Doctor Who. And a lot of people tried to claim, well, that's because it's streaming on Disney Plus. That's why ratings are so bad. Crazy. It actually didn't chart on the Nielsen ratings either. No one was watching this dog shit. But if you listen to the showrunner, Russell T Davies, you start to get an understanding of why they continue to push this time after time after time. And at San Diego Comic-Con, in a panel with someone else who has helped destroy a franchise, he decided to reveal this. Doctor Who showrunner Russell T Davies claims that trans rights are 1,000,000 times more important than what's happening with Doctor Who. And if that was just your opinion, you know what I mean? If that's something you feel passionate about, of course, real life things are going to be more important maybe than a show that you're running. However, when you use that show as a platform for your agenda, that's when fans start to get a little bit upset. And that's exactly what's gone on with Doctor Who. During an appearance at San Diego Comic-Con, alongside Star Trek's Alex Kurtzman, like I said, someone else who has helped destroy a franchise, Davies was asked by moderator Keisha Hackett, who is wearing a mask through this whole thing, by the way, with so many online opinions and fans having very strong feelings about your project, how do you play that balancing act of, yes, we want to do something fans love, but also focusing on the story, getting it right, and telling the best story you possibly can? He decides to go off in this diatribe about how he doesn't spend a lot of time online and he doesn't feel safe there as a gay man online, which is just about the most insane thing I could possibly imagine, given that it's 2024. I see what's said out there, but that's a long discussion for another time. It's getting worse and worse and worse in society, but I'm not sure I can even be a part of that. So that's tricky. That stops me from going online in many ways. We could spend a whole life on that. So I get my agent telling me what's going on. I get people kind of here inevitably. There's kind of this osmosis about the culture wars or whatever that creep through. To be honest, in terms of online activity, I'm much more interested in what's happening. And then he does get into Doctor Who. I want to listen to a little bit of this because while saying I don't want anything to do with the culture wars, he then about a minute later admits that he's doing things actively to fight the culture war. Let's listen to some of this.
So I get my agent tells me what's going on. I get people kind of here in inevitably there's kind of osmosis with what, you know, the culture wars or whatever kind of creep through. To be honest, in terms of online activity, I'm much more interested in what's happening. I think Doctor Who's fine. Doctor Who, well, how can I say this?
I think Doctor Who's fine. This is after getting more backlash than in the entire history of Doctor Who, the lowest ratings in the history of Doctor Who, and more upset fans than any other time in the history of the franchise, in 60 years of this franchise. But yeah, I think it's fine.
It's like, I think there are things happening in the culture wars, particularly with trans rights these days, that are 1,000,000 times more important than what's happening with...
And then, so I think there's things happening with trans rights that are 1,000,000 times more important than what's happening with Doctor Who. But then he decides to make sure to verify that everyone understands. He inserts things into Doctor Who for a reason to fight the culture war.
It's to be fought, and it's getting worse. It's terrifying. So,
you're fighting some of those battles on the show just by the representation.
Woo! Yes. That wonderful cast discovery, I love them. Yeah. I think I did that on purpose. You must do that on purpose. Absolutely, yes. That's part of the battle. So,
I do that on purpose. You do that on purpose. Two people who have helped destroy franchises saying, yeah, this is why we insert representation to all these shows instead of focusing on fans and telling an entertaining story for fans. Instead, we're focused on pushing our agenda. Doesn't that explain everything about why so many of these franchises are the way that they are? Because of these two people up there who have decided that that is more important than the fan base. Their agenda in an entertainment property is more important than giving fans what they actually want. I guess that makes a whole lot of sense. We'll see how long this farce keeps up. I don't know if Ncuti Gatwa, the black gay Doctor Who, I don't know if he's going to last too much longer than the 2 seasons they already contracted him for. Only time will tell. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.